Storytelling is a universal language. It moves across culture and time. Storytelling is a tool for liberation. It helps us reclaim our narratives. It helps us shift the narrative on what people say about us and our communities. And so I hope that you all really leave here with is that you can do it.
So one of the cool things about, being from Montgomery, Alabama, there's so much like history here, joy, culture, but there's also history of like oppression and resistance. And so I'm super excited about being in the community.
Take one. All right. Alabama Values is a grassroots communications organization that leverages culture, media, and content to raise awareness around community issues, close the knowledge gap around issues. We also work with civic and grassroots organizations who are trying to break down barriers, and we launch cool narrative initiatives and campaigns, and also make sure that they understand how to use tools such as storytelling. We're getting ready to kick off the Southern Narrative Project with Vibrant Talks, and I'm super excited. Storytelling is an act of resistance, especially for communities who are often pushed into the margins. Being able to tell our stories, it builds agency. We are in Woodlawn, so thank you all for joining us. The Southern Narrative Project is just rooted in the belief that, the South got something to say. And that the South is full of creativity, not just the resistance that we talk about in the history books. It's full of culture, it's very vibrant. I can go all the way back to the 4th grade. My mother felt that, the educational system of a society was often used to push the ideas, the politics of that society. And she said, hey, I want to make sure that you understand the complexity that exists in history and the role that your people played in it and how that may impact your life. Around that time, they were introducing slavery. I raised my hand and I asked the teacher, I said, who are the slaves before they got here? And so she said, I don't know what you're asking me. I said, well, my mama said that white folks went to Africa and they stole teachers, doctors, lawyers, and they brought them over here and enslaved them. And so at that moment, I understood that who controls the narrative controls the power. And so fast forward to today, I realized that, storytelling is a tool to shift the narrative. And so the power of being able to tell your story is important. I'm not just talking about, making cool pictures and graphics and things of that nature. I'm talking about centering folks' lived experiences, centering the joy, the resistance, and all of that. That's at the core of the work that we do. We became collaborators. We became coordinators. When I say, everyday people got together and made change in this country, we became part of that ecosystem of everyday people. What you want to do, what you need, let's do this together. Collaboration, that is like in our values. And also leveraging the power of the collective. I am super excited about this evening. We are celebrating our movement partners, some community partners. So I'm really excited about, seeing art, culture, and social change, and hip hop.
These ladies, and every time I call them, they come.
I've been saying this all week, that culture eats politics for breakfast. I always say that real change has always come about in this country when everyday people just got together and said enough is enough. It's about building community power to amplify the voices that are often pushed into the margins, at the center of the work that is happening on the ground. If I could snap my fingers, I would use narrative and storytelling and messaging to really build up the ideological power of communities that feel disempowered. I really love them, and the work that I'm doing is rooted in that love and that care for my people.
That's right. It's not nothing that we just fathom up and put on a piece of pen or a video, because it comes from our history, comes from our trauma, but it also comes from the understanding that we're here to liberate and we're not here to break down.
I would use art and culture to stir up the radical imagination and get people motivated to march towards change. Talking about film and storytelling. And so I hope you all really lean in and take some seeds from tonight and plant them into your community so that they can grow. But thank you all so much for joining us. I love y'all. I mean that. I'm not just saying it because it sounds cool, but I really love my people. I love my community, and I thank you all for joining us. Thank you.